What's going on, everybody? This is Nathan with Exploring Coin Shops, and I'm back here in Crystal River with my good friend of mine, Glenn, and his shop. Glenn, how's it going?
It is going phenomenal. I've messed that up. It's going fantastic. This has been the craziest market conditions I've ever seen. We're seeing some just amazing coins come in. We're meeting some of the coolest people we've ever met. The coin shows are getting extremely exciting. I really think we have a bunch of really good topics to talk about and some really nice coins to show off today.
Yeah, speaking of that, the market's going crazy. How has it been changing the last, month? Gold's gone over $300 up. Silver's taken off too. How is business has it been changed a little bit? What are you seeing in the trends?
So we're definitely seeing a lot of the metals come in. We're seeing a lot of gold, a lot of silver, but we're also seeing a shift in buyers. There's not as many people comfortable buying right now as there was. We're seeing some of the bigger companies that buy from the dealers have pulled back their pricing a little bit. So the wholesale scene is also getting hit a little bit. Yes, guys, we don't get to sell everything for full spot. We don't always make, big money on it. I think I make anywhere from a quarter to 50 cents an ounce on silver right now on a wholesale level. We're definitely seeing a lot of strength in the prices going up, but a lot of weakness in the buying. And I don't know how that's going for you guys, Nate, but I know it's been pretty inversed, where we're buying a lot more than what's going out.
Now, with that happening, do you feel like this is going to be more of the trend for a little bit longer? Or do you feel if the market starts to settle down a little bit, do you think that you'll see buyers start coming back out once it kind of smooths back out and the pricing is more steady?
So I've actually been asked that question by a lot of my customers, and my response has been the same. This market is not like 2008 when we had the market housing crash and all that. Well, we saw gold and silver go up to, I think, $48 silver, and then I think we saw like $2,000 gold. Well, 2012, the economy started to recover, and we plummeted. I mean, the gold and silver market went down rapidly. I think over the course of a month, we lost like $800 on gold, and then I think silver we lost like $20 or something like that. I'd have to look at the graphs, but the difference is we don't have any major crazy economic event going on. This has been a natural build to this level, and it's actually kind of scary. I don't know if we're ever going to see $2,000 gold or $1,500 gold or $13 silver ever again. We built to this level. I mean, and there's so much turmoil going on in the world. We got the stuff going on with Venezuela. We got the stuff going on over in Ukraine still. There's a lot of tensions over Taiwan. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world. So I don't know if we're ever going to go back down. We might see some pullbacks, but we've had some pullbacks in this market, and then the next week it doubles to what we lost. So I've hit my level for selling stuff, and I actually encourage a lot of people, set a number for yourself on silver and gold. If it hits your number, sell. If you want to hold on to it, don't sell. But what we're going to start seeing is if gold and silver continue this unprecedented rise, we're going to start seeing people paying less and less and less because there's not as many people buying it. So, most places right now, most shows, you can go to any coin show and you can buy. There will be somebody on a coin show floor or in some shops selling their gold at spot, or they'll be selling some form of something at spot. So we're seeing this where there's just not that many people buying. So when there's nobody buying, there's not big premiums. The only people that are still buying or the only product I would say that's really selling are 1 gram, 5 gram bar golds, 1/10 eagles, 1/10 gold, smaller size stuff, because it's affordable. The general populace can afford that, but we're starting to price out of the general populace. We're almost at 1/10. I think still pull anywhere from like 2 to 5% over spot, we're rapidly approaching $400 1/10s if they're not already selling them for that. Mine are just under that in here, but we're right there at that level, and I'm worried that we're going to price the general population out. So what I'm hoping is we'll level off, but I don't see that coming. There's so much stuff going on. The tariffs, the war on drugs is basically restarting with them trying to stop these cartels. We've got just so many things going on where the market is primed to go up, but if we have a 2012 again where we drop $400 in a day, it's going to be crippling for a lot of people. And we've seen swings of $100 on gold, and we've seen swings of a couple dollars on silver. I don't know if you remember, we never, I in my life, I've never seen gold go up over $100 in a day, and we've had a couple days where it's done that.
Yep.
So it's a really scary situation. Do I think it's going to continue going up? Yes. But I do think we're going to pull back. I think we'll pull back a little bit, and then it's a powder keg. If something major happens in the world, I do think we're going to see gold and silver go to the moon. So,
well, with that, talking about that too, is also like states like Florida. We're talking about even having our own mint in Florida, apparently. Yeah. So that's kind of the trend is changing. I feel like a lot with this too. I think a lot of states are going to might follow in that route. Do you think that now gold and silver could become more of a form of true currency again, like going back on the gold standard sort of thing, or do you think that paper money is here to stay for what reason?
The problem with that is if they, and don't get me wrong, I would love to see it. I think the gold standard was an excellent thing. And for those who don't know, the U.S. was on the gold standard we officially adopted it, I want to say in like the early 1900s, but we'd been on it for a while. Look up Willing Jennings Bryan. Great little piece of history there. The Cowardly Lion. Anyone who gets that reference, I love you. We, in the 1920s, 1929 stock market collapse, we really, we moved away from the gold standard. We were still on silver standard. We didn't really have the last call on silver until the 1970s with Nixon, when, hey, come turn in your silver certificates, all that. My question is if the states start doing a value on gold and silver, well, it's a recognized price in the world, but how do you put a value to it in a business, unlike ours? If I walk into Publix or to Walmart or to some of these places and I can pay with gold, how do they value my gold? Are they going to treat it like a coin shop? Are they going to pay less than what it's worth? Or are they going to pay more? We don't know yet, and I personally think until they work out the kinks on that, we don't know what's going to happen. The goldbacks are a great example. I love the goldbacks. They're beautiful. I think they're awesome. But there's no one in the world who's going to sell a $100 goldback for $100 because it's got 1/10 of an ounce of gold in it. So you have $370, $360, or whatever. I think it's almost $370 today. $370 worth of gold in that gold back, you're not going to sell it for. You're not going to use it as $100 in a gas station because it's worth more than that. So the real question is how are the states that are doing this going to make the stuff? Is it going to be digital? No one's talked about that. It's actually, is the state going to put a reserve to the side and digitalize whatever the customers put in there and your account flows like the stock market? The state matches the cash. It's a really fascinating question that we don't have any answers to. They're talking about doing it. Like, I think the state of Florida just said, hey, we're going to make gold and silver legal currency. How? We're still waiting on the how are you going to do that. And I think it's going to be a long time until we get a how. But the only practical way I see them doing, and the other thing is counterfeiting. How are you gonna stop counterfeiting? Because And you know, the tools to test a lot of silver and gold they're expensive. You know, the Sigma machine is not perfect, but it's one of the best things we got. But they're $1,000 a piece for the. I think the newer ones are a little cheaper, but still, that's an expense that these businesses would have to put out, and they're going to have to test it. And Nate, you know as well as I do, if you're good enough, you can fake a 1 ounce gold.
Oh yeah,
and it'll pass the Sigma. There are other tests that we use to find those out, but that's the issue, is we don't know what's going to happen when they start doing this, and how are they going to test it. So the only option I really see is if they do it digital. You'll have a reserve that you can deposit your stuff into, and they digitalize it into currency. You have this much silver you put in, they give you a blank amount of money. I have to take this. Give me 1 second.
Well, Glenn, I mean, we've been teasing people. They can see the coins in front of you. So let's get into some coins. What you got going on? What's new in the shop?
All right, so these are a recent intake. We went to a show. We spent some money at a show. We ended up, and I actually have another 93S in the case. It's in a good 4. This is out of my private collection. I wanted to share this with everybody. I'm gonna take this off because this is my baby.
This is not for sale.
Not for sale.
Glenn is
This is out of my
us.
private collection.
Gosh, look at the colors on that.
I found that coin in a Dalton coin at the Dalton Coin Show a couple of years ago on the floor raw. I thought it was a proof because of the color, because proofs tend to look like this. They get these pretty colors on them. I proceeded to send it out for grading. It came back not a proof. And it is some of the most vivid color. And anyone who knows Indian head pennies knows how rare it is to get color on your mint state strikes. They usually look brown. Or you'll get a decent red brown, or you'll get a red. This was a real showstopper for me. I saw this coin sitting in somebody's case raw, looked at it, I want that. How much? It wasn't, oh, bids this or bids this. I think he had a grade of MS 65, or he called it a proof 64. And I was like, okay, it looks like a proof. Fun fact, the mint state is worth more than the proof, which is, I know sounds weird, but this is one of those circumstances where the mint state strike is worth more than the proof. And I don't know how well the camera picked up the color.
It didn't do enough justice. It's gorgeous, guys.
This coin is neon blue with purple and just magenta toning on it. It is absolutely breathtaking. Love this coin. It's out of my private collection. A couple of dealers who know me have seen it. I took it to a couple shows to tease people with. But yeah, this is one of my 10. Is it a big expensive coin? No, but I'll never get another one. All right, moving on.
That's a gorgeous coin.
Let's go to Morgan's. All right. Let's play the game. Who thinks the MS67 is worth more than the VG10? Everybody, because an MS67 is 3 grades off perfect. Well, fun fact. This has a mintage of like 10 to 15, 20 million. And then I think this one has a mintage of like 8 million. There's a mintage of 100,000 on both these. 93S's are your King Morgans. They are typically the last coin every collector needs to finish.
May I?
Absolutely. Thanks. They are typically the last coin they need to finish their Morgan set. I highly, highly, highly recommend you never buy one raw unless you know what you're looking for. And to those who do not know, you can look it up online. There is a die scratch in the T.
Borrow this one.
Right here. There's a die scratch up here in the Liberty. That if you see it, it's a very light die scratch. You're not going to be able to see it on video. You have to have like a 10x, 20x lube. You know what I'm talking about, though. You know about the die scratch. You have to have the die. I actually questioned this one. This came to me at a show in this holder. and I questioned it because I couldn't see the die scratch. And so I'm sitting there like, man, I know it's in a PC holder, but sometimes just because it's in a holder doesn't mean it's good, guys. You have to be really careful. But I ended up walking it over. I got a better light, and I got a better magnifier. The scratch is there. It's just a very light scratch. But yes, the die scratch, and then there's another thing in the coin. It's called the bunny ears. That's something you guys can look up. It's very untalked about, but the bunny ears are a diagnostic on them to tell you if they're real. 93S's, this coin starts at over $3,000. They are really sought after, and they're very hard to get, and anything over, I would actually argue anything over VF is hard. They're pretty readily available in AG to G4, mostly AG. They're very lenient. They're very lenient with the 93S. They're very lenient with anything that's better, like 16 standing libs and stuff like that. But you'll see, and I'm sure Nate's seen them. You'll see coins that look blatantly cleaned and straight grade holders for the 93S because there's so few of them out there. That you'll see them and they look all white what I loved about these was how original they look. There's still that dark, ugly, circulated look that they get, but it's natural. I'd rather have them looking like this than having them looking like they were polished. So, and then these two guys, these were really a star. I was pretty, I got these at a separate time, believe it or not. But an 81S and a 67 and an 80S and a 67 CAC, both coins CAC'd. So John agreed that they were both great, which I love. Let me flip them so we can
try to see if we can compare it. See if you can see any difference between them, if they look a lot alike.
I'm actually, I'm going to be honest with you.
I have my favorite.
I think the 81S is knockout. The 80S is frostier. Mm-hmm. But I actually thought that had a shot at 8, 7+ to an 8. Which for those of you who don't know, CAC stickers are basically they're a third-party guarantor of your NG. They like to say they're the auditors of NGC PCGS. That's the best way to put it. They'll sticker something if they agreed with the grade that it's that we like it. Good job. And if you ever see a gold sticker, those are the big ones. You find a gold sticker, they're people like those. They collect those. They're that's CAC saying we actually think this coin is higher grade than what PC or NGC said. PCGS and NGC holders are the only holders that you will see CAC stickers on. CAC does not offer that service for ICG, Annex, any of the other parties. And then for those of you who don't know, CAC has started their own grading service now. You can actually get a CAC holdered coin, which this is their holder for if anyone's never seen one. They've been out for a while now. I'm going to assume most people have seen them. Mm-hmm. But CAC is actually really good service. They're some of they've pulled in some of the greatest known graders to ever do it. They're very on top of it. They're strict. You're going to see a lot of if your coin has an issue, they're going to call it out. And that's what I like about them. It's why anything that has like this is new. I'm actually going to send this VF20 to CAC and see what they say. I figured it's a 50-50 if I get a sticker, but it's worth the $30 to send it. But the service, I want to say they're only charging like $15 a coin now to grade if it's under, if it's like a cheapy coin. But they're super good. To anyone who doesn't know or has never met Mr. Albanese, he is one of the probably done more for the hobby than 90% of people in the hobby. The man has started, if I'm not mistaken, he started NGC. He worked at PC, GS. Don't quote me on that, but the man has worked everywhere. He's a titan. He's amazing. He's one of those guys that you can ask questions to, and you wouldn't even know. You'd be sitting in there talking to the guy, and you'd not know you're sitting next to the authority on so many coins. He is a great guy. He knows a lot about the hobby. And he is just, and there are some, I know he likes trade dollars. That's the only thing I know. He likes trade dollars. But I've actually only met him twice. He probably wouldn't even remember my name, but he is a super nice guy. His company, all the work he's done with CAC has been phenomenal. I highly encourage you guys, if CAC is not on your radar for a grading company, I do recommend, because their prices are very affordable right now. And their coins tend to bring more money than regular coins. That little sticker matters. Another really cool piece you don't get to see. A $1.66. 1883 PCGS MS66 CAC. Absolutely. Thank you. Not a super duper rare coin. I want to say it's around $2,000. Probably like 18 to like 2,300 ish. But you don't see them. The $1 were, in my opinion, it's questionable why we ever even made them, because we already had a $1 silver going on at the time. But any $1 you have, if a dealer ever offers you melt value for a $1 gold, don't sell it. All $1 golds are worth more than their melt value. Mind you, there are a lot of fake $1 golds. In the 60s, they would smuggle gold into the country and they would turn it into $1, 2.5s, 3s, 5s, 10s, 20s. They did that to smuggle gold in, but I feel like a lot of people don't talk about that. So they created all these fake coins and they'll smuggle them into the country, and you didn't have to declare the gold, you had to declare your face value. Well, you had a $20 gold piece was $20. You declared it as $20. You didn't have to declare the gold value. Whereas if you brought in bars, you would have to declare the gold value. But the $1 in particular were small. They were easy. You could package a ton of them, and you didn't have to declare that many of them. But they made a ton of fakes. So there's about $175 worth of gold in them as of now at 36.80, whatever we're at this morning. The thing is, you will get, I would argue that most $1 golds are in bad shape. They start at around $200 to $300. And you'll see them go up. They go up very quickly. And this is actually a common date. I had a 1887 in here yesterday. It's a mintage of 7,500. The coin was in a mint state 62. Well, guess what? In a mint state, that coin was still only $600. So there's a very big survival rate. But if you go into the early coins and you get like a Charlotte or a Dahlonega mint one, which I think I showed one off on one of my first videos, that coin has since sold. But those start at over $1,000. It doesn't matter what grade they are. Dahlonega and Charlottes are all rare. So it's a fascinating story, though. The history of the $1 is very interesting. If you guys ever get a chance to read, like the Red Book has a pretty detailed story about it. I think one of the Fun magazines, Fun Topics, just had an article about some of these. So it's an interesting topic. So if you guys don't get Fun Topics, or if you're not members of Fun and you go and attend the show, I highly encourage you to do it. And the ANA also puts out some really good reading material on stuff. And then one day you can hoard as many books as I have. I love books. And that's not all of them. There's a lot more at house. Some of them are too nice to bring here. But it's a really amazing time to sit and show people. All right, now for the piece that I have been most excited to show you guys. I am going to pull this out. Nate is not allowed to touch it because I love Nate, but he's not allowed to touch it.
No, you have to hold this one so I can get good angles on this one.
So this coin came into the shop.
Hold right there, perfect.
This coin came into the shop. This came in a a proof 60 cameo holder. Okay, so they were calling this coin a proof 60. I am not going to tell you which company, but I will tell you this: it was not one of the main three.
Give me a little cartwheel effect there. Perfect.
So this is a proof. It is also a sub-1,000 mintage proof. And let's all be sad that it's not 1 year lower, because then it would have been amazing. Yeah. But it's pretty amazing as it is. So they called this a 60. This is 100% going out for grading soon. This came in the last week or two. I've been lazy and I haven't sent it out. I like looking at it. But if you guys want to take a wild guess at what you think it's going to grade, I'm curious. It does have a little bit of hairlines, but nothing that says 60 to me. And it has a spot on the back left wing. I don't know if you guys can see this. I don't know if the camera does it justice. There's a little bit of darkening on the wing. I'm questioning if that's carbon. But we're going to have them conserve this coin and see if it...
it looks kind of like a shadow, guys, on the wing. That's where it is. It's hard to really kind of...
It's right here.
Give you a good shot of it, yeah. Perfect.
So we're gonna send this out for conservation, see what PCGS can do to it, see if they can give it back its life. But beautiful coin. It almost hurts to look at if you catch it just right on the mirrors just right. But yeah, it was an amazing piece to see come into the shop.
Yeah, guys, let's do that. Give us your best guess on the grade in the comments down below. I'm curious to see what you guys think. I have my opinion. I know Glenn has his views on it as well, of what we think that it is. But I'm curious to see what everyone else thinks.
And we will send this out. It'll probably be. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll express it at some point, and I will hold it because I don't need it. It's fine to sit. I'll express it to PCGS within the next 2 to 3 weeks. And hopefully by late October, we'll have it back. And then Nate can come back and we will talk about it. Or I will send Nate a short video, and be like, hey, this is what it came back. But yeah, I'm really curious. A lot of us are very interested to know what it's going to come back. My helper, Pat, who is up here with me every now and then, he saw it and said that it was a travesty what they graded it. So... Nate looked at it, and Nate's like, oh my God. So
now on the price point of that coin.
Okay.
So that's kind of the question I want to ask, because sometimes you get those gradings that are not really what it is. Quotation marks, let me put that there. But is it one of those, is that the kind of the coin that will jump in value if it gets a high grade?
Okay. So I am extremely transparent with people. Yes. It will. I paid the guy more than what I thought it was, because when I saw the coin, I was like, this is not this grade. Because in the holder, it looked even flashier than it does out of the holder. Because that plastic just does some miracles to stuff. But I told the guy, I was like, this is a nice coin. He actually offered it to me. I don't really want to say it, but I'll say it. The guy offered it to me at like 15. And I told him, no, I'm going to pay him more for that. Because it's a nice coin. But he also understood it was in a third-party holder. It wasn't in a recognized company. So he was questioning the grade as well, if it was real, like if the grade was correct. And I told him, I said, no, I think the grade's wrong, but I think it's wrong low. I think it's higher grade than that. So I paid him more for it. Because the guy sold me some nice coins. He actually brought me one of the other coins on the table, and I wanted to be transparent with him, because if it comes back super high grade, which I don't think it's going to, I have an idea of where it's going to land, but it's a nice coin. The price point on that coin is in a 63, no, in a 60, it's like 2,200 and this is wholesale. This is not retail. So it's probably worth between $2,000 to $3,000. And I don't think it's going to go up more than that. But that's what I'm saying. The guy offered it to me at a very low rate, and I told him, I was like, no, I'm going to pay you more for it because they're desirable. It's a mintage of 700 and I think it's 700 or 800 something coins they made. Survival rate is probably not that many. It's the year after the major 95, So it was one of those coins where it was a no-brainer. Yeah, I want it. Yes, now mind you, If it comes back a 5 or a 6 or something, I'm going to have to call that guy. But I'm not going to give my grade away, but I will say I don't think it's going to go over a 5. But if it does, then yay. But, the guy was comfortable with the price I gave him. He was actually thrilled because I paid him more than what he thought he was going to get for it. So that is another, actually, that's a really good topic that we probably haven't talked about.
Because I have really strong views on that.
Yeah, you know what I'm about to talk about.
Yeah, my opinion is I come from a jeweler's background, so for me to have grading companies look at things differently and not have a really set. Yes, there's books. Okay, let me stand corrected. Yes, there's books out there suggesting what each grade should be, and there's a business standard of it. But do they follow it? Is the real question.
There is no dealer I know in this entire industry, and I could be wrong. There might be that one guy out there, and I hope he contacts me, that will sell a proof Morgan for gray sheet. And for you, those out there who don't know what gray sheet is the quote unquote wholesale price guide for dealers. Problem is Gray Sheet released to the public a couple years ago. Hey, excellent business decision. I don't blame them. But what happened was when they released the price guide to the public, it made it to where now everybody can see what wholesale is instead of retail numbers. What happens with that is, well, if back then a dealer could pay Gray Sheet and they could sell the coin over retail, and we still see that. But now a lot of the dealers have to try to buy back of Gray Sheet because there's so many more people walking around with it. They want to try to buy at Gray Sheet or a little bit over Gray Sheet. And it's really hurt the retail side of things, which is fine. The industry needed to be shaken up. Some of the old guys are stuck in their ways. Let's shake it up a little bit. I'm good with that. New guys are coming in, and there's a whole different way of doing business. We see a lot of stuff going on Whatnot and stuff now. We see things changing in the industry every day. I mean, you've got we see a lot of smaller auction companies coming around. I know High Bid's gotten very big. You've got Heritage, you've got Great Collections, you've got Stacks. There's a bunch of places. And, a lot of people think that these companies just do auctions. They don't. There are parts of these departments where they'll buy the coins. Heritage and Stacks and Great Collections. I don't know if Great Collections does it, but I know Heritage and Stacks do. They have a sales department where you can actually sell them coins. They're some of the biggest coin dealers in the country. But I don't know. I don't think they do that to the public. I think it's only through dealers that they buy, but don't hold me to that. I'm not perfect. But the other really big topic I wanted to talk about, and we referenced it, is regrets. That is probably the best way to broach it. If you are going to have regrets when you sell a coin, don't sell it. That is my personal opinion. If you shake hands with somebody and you're happy with the price you got, be happy. You got the number you were looking for. It's great. Now, don't get me wrong. You find out that guy made, 10 times more. That's wrong. That guy's a crook. That's terrible. But, I've had tons of people come in here where when I shake hands with them, they're happy. Because I'll tell them, look, I'm very transparent with a lot of my customers. I'll tell them, hey, this coin's worth, $500. This number, I need to buy it at this number. I'm going to market this much over the number it's worth, to see if I can get some retail out of it. So what happens is I've had people come in, oh, hey, there's that coin I sold you. Oh, hey, it's the price you told me you were going to put on it. Cool. My rule of thumb is you're never going to come in my shop and find something at double the price. You're never going to find something for double what I paid for it, because I am happy making my little piece. Just like Nate is happy making his little piece. And the guys, the dealers, I try to tell them, people, most coin shops operate between like a margin of 1 to 10%. It's, the good ones, I should say. And I'm small, I'm tiny, I'm super tiny compared to Guy and some of these other guys, but the margin, I would actually argue that most coin shops stay open through this case right here. I do more business out of that case, which is my bullion case, and my Morgan dollars and my 90%. I do more business out of that case than I do any other case in the shop. And that's not saying that there's not a market for collectible coins, but 90% of the people I deal with are stackers and stuff like that. I see most of my collectors at coin shows. You know, and don't get me wrong, I have my little group of old guys who like to come up here and go through some raw, and I've got my younger guys that like to come in here and buy for whatnot. And I get some collectors that come here that need, you know, key date coins. And I love that. But you don't see, you go to a coin show, everybody and their uncle has a case of bullion, you know? Whereas I keep one little case. 9 times out of 10, I don't take any bullion with me to coin shows because I want to show the coins at a coin show. Everybody and their uncle has bullion at the coin show. Well, it doesn't make sense for me. I'd rather have the space put a couple extra nicer coins out. So I would really, and back to the start, I would really recommend to you guys, do your research, meet your dealers, break your ice with the dealers. You walk in here and ask me, hey Glenn, what are you paying for gold? I'm going to tell you, hey, I'm at this number back, I'm at this number back. You know, right now we do it based off a percentage. So like silver, we buy for $2 back, we sell it for $2 over. I make a $4 spread. Well, on that upside of that, which that number is not, you know, there might be other places out there that are buying it for more than I am, and that's fine. My area is set for, hey, we do this, we're a margin-based area. You know, if I buy 1,000 ounces, well, if I don't have somebody coming in to buy 1,000 ounces or buy a couple hundred ounces a week, that's money that's just tied up. So what happens is we'll take it, and a lot of the time, some of it goes to the refinery, some of it goes to other dealers. Well, those dealers and those refineries have to make money too. And like right now, I want to say there's a couple of companies, I don't know, I'm not going to name them because I don't want to get in trouble, but they pay, you know, $1.50 back for silver, or $1.25. So I'm, you know, some of the times I'm making 50, 60 cents on an ounce of silver. And I know that sounds like, oh no, you need to make more than that. But we have to make sure that you know, you walk into a coin shop, or you know, a coin shop or a pawn shop, and they say, yeah, we're paying $5 back. You're going to turn around and walk out the door. And you should, because that's too cheap. But what it allows me to do is I sell my silver in here for $2 over spot. That's it. Whether it's a bar, a round, the only thing I charge more for are Silver Eagles. And Libertads. I put Libertads to the side. I love Libertads. They're like one of my favorite bullion coins. I put those away. I love those and pandas. My wife loves the pandas. I love the Libertads. So I actually have a really rare date Libertad here, if anybody wants to look at it. 1998 and a 69.
Yeah, thank you.
That is one of the key dates. 97, 98, 99. Those are the key date Libertads. If anybody has 1 ounce Libertads, and from 97, 98, or 99, get them graded. They're worth getting graded. They're very expensive coins and high grade. That is a retail number, obviously, but it's a good coin. So, you know, and they're beautiful coins. They're beautiful bullion coins. But yeah, just build your relationships with your dealers and be transparent. Nate, I'm sure you guys are transparent with your guys. We've always, you know, and I'm transparent with everybody. Hey, this is what we're paying. This is what I'm going to sell it to you for. Gold right now, I don't know what you guys are selling it for, but you know, most places are selling gold at or a little bit over spot right now. We're not making buku bucks. It doesn't work like that. You know, we do well, but it's volume. We do well off volume. And the reason we can do volume is because there's other places that buy it in bulk. So when we get overstocked on something, we have to move it. Nobody wants 1,000 war nickels. I don't know a single customer that's going to walk in and buy 1,000 war nickels. Well, over the course of months, you end up with 1,000 war nickels. Well, Nate, I don't know about you, but they might as well be slingshot ammo, because I can't tell you, there's not a lot of customers that come in and buy them. Love the coin. I think they're pretty. But there are just no customers that really come in and buy them that often. And that has a part to do with that the industry has just said, hey, we'll buy them, but we don't really want them, but we'll buy them because they're silver. Then that's it. And God, I think we're I'm gonna check. I think we're approaching $2. I think we might be higher than that.
A piece on them, yeah.
War nickels are $2.37. That is insane. Like, I remember when these things were 50 cents, and now they're $2.37. But Nate, if somebody walked in and said, hey, I'll give you $2 for every war nickel you have, guess what? You're selling all your war nickels. Oh, yeah. That's the thing. I'll sell them to you for 40 cents back. Come on, come buy them all. I actually don't have that many anymore. I have a wholesaler that buys them for me. He's a good guy. I like him and do a lot with him. But yeah, so that's it. My tangent's over. What's another question I can rant about?
Well, something I want to do different on this channel is each shop I come to, I would like to buy most likely probably silver round or some sorts. So guys, pay attention to this part of the video. If you don't listen to any other part of the video, listen to this part here. And the reason I'm putting it so late in the video is for this reason. The people that actually watch. So what I'm going to do is every coin shop I visit now, I will buy silver round of some sorts or some kind of silver, something cool. And I want to give it off to you guys, the viewers. All you have to do is just one thing. Comment below. In about 2 weeks or so from when the video is aired, I'll put out a winner and have them contact me. So that's what we're going to do. So Glenn, what do you got in silver that's something I can purchase for
You're not going to purchase it.
Oh,
I'm not going to let you, because you guys have done this and the response from you guys has been excellent. I do go in and read all of those comments that you guys leave, and thank you guys for the support. It means a lot to me. This was a dream of mine that came true. I am more than happy to give away this 2017 Britannia.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to give this to Nate. Nate can give that away. I'm happy to just donate that to the cause.
Well, thank you so much, Glenn. This is
because the community is awesome. I love everybody that's called me. I love everybody that sent me emails. Thank you for reaching out. And guys, if you ever have a question on a coin and you just need some information, call me. My number is if I don't answer you, leave me a message. I usually call you back, but feel free to call me. Just even if it's for general information. I love to talk, if you can't tell. I love this hobby. I'm very passionate about it, and I love seeing and meeting new collectors who are as passionate about it as I am. I do have a tendency to talk a lot. I blame it on my OCD and my ADHD. But feel free to stop in if you guys are ever in the area in Chris River, Florida. Stop in, come see me. I'm happy to sit and talk with you. I've had a couple of you come up, and I've had some amazing conversations with people. And everybody's welcome. Even if you know nothing about the hobby, I have a nice couch you can sit on. I will sit in here and talk with you for hours. It's not an issue whatsoever. My phone is always available to anybody. If you have a question about a coin, if you're concerned, you can shoot me pictures. I'm happy to answer those questions. Mind you, I'm not perfect. No one is. This hobby is an everlasting learning experience. If anyone ever says they know it all, they're full of crap. They don't. Because I've met people who wrote the books, and they still learn something new every day. But yeah, if anybody ever needs anything, feel free to call me. That's what I'm here for. I enjoy talking with you. I enjoy doing these videos. And I hope you guys glean a little bit of education out of this. I'm trying to give you guys a little insider look on what dealers do and how it all works. Because I feel like there's not enough people being transparent with their customers. And I want even just the public in general, I want people to understand, hey, this is where we're coming from. This is how the business works. And for those of you who are trying to break through into the industry, it's nice to know what goes on, how it works, the bridges you need to build, the people you need to go, that you need to get to know, the etiquette that's involved with it. I would actually really love maybe next time, Nate, a year up here, let's talk on maybe like coin show etiquette and some stuff like that.
Sure.
The do's and don'ts, because there are some do's and don'ts, and stuff like that. I really want to, if I can help anybody get into the industry or start collecting, I'd love to be there to help them. So, and good luck, guys. I hope whoever gets that has a great day. It's a beautiful piece. I actually, when Nate started talking, I knew exactly where it was going. That's why I reached over and started grabbing it, because I knew exactly where it was. So you guys enjoy. I hope whoever wins it, congratulations. I look forward to doing another video. Nate, I look forward to seeing you again. And guys, God bless America, and thank you for coming to Gelin's Coins.
Glenn, thanks so much. Till next time.